Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm your host and host, Kashish Gaur. Thank you so much for your love on my videos. In this show, we invite brilliant minds from all over the world. So start करते हैं आज के वीडियो इनवाइट करते हैं अपने आज के स्पेशल गेस्ट को. Our guest today is 14-year-old author, founder, activist, literature advocate, blogger, book reviewer, and blogger. Let's not delay and invite this super talented Risha Chaurasia. Hey Risha, how are
Hi,
you?
hi, hi. It's such a pleasure to be here. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good too.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys. I'm Risha Chaurasia, and as Tasha just introduced me, I'm a 14-year-old author, blogger, and a literature advocate. I've published two books so far, which are called Truce and Tales of Twinkling Tweens. And I also run a blog on Instagram called Straight.From.My.Pen, through which I spread positivity through writing. And I also encourage the youth to read and write. So, yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Okay. So, Risha, when did you start writing? Tell us about your book, Tales of Twinkling Twins.
So I started writing when I was 8, but I started writing Tales of Twinkling Tweens when I was around 10 and a half. So I'd always loved to read and I had a love for books. So whenever I used to read something, I always thought to myself, as in, that if this author can write, why can't I? So this question kept hounding me, and then ultimately I decided to write my own novel. So it started off as I used to record, journal things that happened to me in school, like embarrassing situations or funny situations, or if there was some drama in school. So I used to journal that. And then eventually I decided to culminate it into a book, like basically a guidebook for tweens. So that's how it all kind of started.
Okay, that is awesome, Risha. So, from where you got the idea of writing the novel Truce?
So I actually thought it while I was watching the movie with my friends. I know it sounds crazy, but so I was just sitting there and I just turned to my friends and I just thought that, why don't I write a book on friendship? Because mostly young adult books are all about relationship and love, but sometimes friendship, in that sense, that's sidelined. So that's how I kind of got the idea of Truce. And then when I discussed it with my mom that I want to write a book on friendship, so that's how, through conversations, we came up with the plot of having five characters, wherein each one of them has a certain problem in life, and they meet, they become friends, and then through friendship and through the power of relationships, they kind of overcome their problems. So
Oh,
that's how Truce
that
began.
that's great. That's superb. The idea was superb. So, you are a
Thank you.
blogger too. You are
Yeah.
a blogger too. Tell us about your blogs.
So I have one. It's on Instagram and it's called Straight from My Pen. And currently it has over 3.7 thousand followers. And I started it
Congratulations.
just 6 months back. Thank you. So I originally started it off as a social activism blog, wherein I used to cover uh, like issues in the world that didn't really that highlighted by mainstream media. But then I realized when the pandemic hit that there's a lot of negative news and negative journalism in the world, and I didn't want to add to that, so I decided to convert it into a positive blog. So wherein today I've done a series called What Went Right This Week. So I cover all the good news that happened in the past few weeks, and then I also try to uplift, the mental health of my followers. So it's all about spreading positivity. Yeah.
This is phenomenal. Like
Thank you.
spreading positivity is really a good work. Wishing you tons of audience for your blog. Guys,
Thank
do
you.
follow her. We'll add the link in the description below. So, Risha, you have won the best script writer at Miss 35 of International School. Please tell
Yeah.
us about the same.
So it was an international inter-school competition, and from my school, there were two teams, so I led the script writing the one of them. So we had the topic of uh, online classes, good or bad. So in that, we showed two stories. One was of a boy who was, the class clown at first, but then when the pandemic hit in the quarantine, he realized the importance of maths and studies, and so he went from being a class clown to a nerd. And then the second story was of a girl who started off as a nerd, but when her friends, through cheating, got more marks, so she got inclined towards that. So she turned it from a nerd into a class clown. And we call it inverse. So that was all about it.
Oh, the script is mind blowing, Risha. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you are a book reviewer. Can you tell
Yeah.
us the process to the fellow authors and audience watching this show?
So I primarily review books that I personally have found really, really good. And those are actually not quite, like, not many. So once I read a book, I have a habit. I take a pencil or pen with me, and then I sit down with, like, whenever I find a phrase or like a word which is nice, I highlight it or I underline it so that I could probably use it in my own writing, or to better my own writing.
Yeah.
So after that's done, I said, and then after reading the book, I write a 500 words summary of it. What I found nice in the book, what probably the author lacked in, and from an author's perspective, how the story could have been better, or how the author, like, put a brilliant step forward. Then I set that summary aside for a few weeks, and then I looked at it with fresh eyes. And then because I think the essence of a story is it should not be forgotten. So if you forget a story after reading it in a few weeks, then it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So whichever story that I remember that, okay, this happened and then that happened, those only I review. So that's kind of how the process works.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I hope our viewer will also get the help from this. So, Risha, what are your future plans?
I am currently working on my third and fourth novels, both at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah, and so yeah, those are actually my future plans. But now with the academic pressure hitting in with the exams, so basically just completing those two novels and then just focusing on my studies for a while. Those are kind of like my future plans. Oh, and I also plan to grow straight from my pen more. Those, yeah.
okay. But best wishes for your future plan. I really love this.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
welcome. What message do you have for fellow and aspiring authors?
I have two things that I'd like to say. Is one is that keep writing and just write every day. So I have this thing where I don't go to sleep until I've written something new, or I've worked on something from the previous day. So it's like I can miss studying for a few days, but I can't stop with the writing. So you have to write daily. I know it sounds obvious that to be a writer you have to write, but it's actually really true. And the
Oh,
second thing is that don't give up, because originally starting off as teen authors, it's actually really tough because people don't really believe in your worth, and they're like that, oh, you're a kid, you should be studying, you should have been doing this and that. So those, and adding to that, kids your age also made fun of you of that. So those things, so some people may actually that demotivated and discouraged and would think of stop writing. I did too. When Tales came out, I was mocked at by my own, like, classmates and my batchmates. So at that, and Truce and Tales didn't get the response I thought it would. So at that time I felt demotivated, but I kept going. And I think that's the essence of being the author, is that you have to keep going. Yeah, those are the things I like to. Oh, and also I like to share one thing that my mom said to me, and which has totally guided my writing journey, is that you write for you. you don't write for the publishers or for the world or for your readers. You write for you. And if you're happy and you're satisfied with your work, then don't care about what the world says.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, Risha. The people will like they will discourage and they will do something so that they didn't support you, and sometimes, but
Yeah.
some friends do support us. So, and thank you so much, Risha. I hope all my viewers will learn something from this. So, Risha, here are some rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
You will only have 20 seconds for each. Are you ready?
All right. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Favorite book author?
John Green.
Okay, that
And
was quick.
not to sound narcissistic, but me.
Okay. If you could teleport right away, where do you want to go?
Hogwarts.
Okay. What is that one thing you could never live without?
Food.
Okay. Okay, so describe yourself in one line.
Smart and wait, young, bold, and smart. No, yeah, young, bold, and smart.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so your favorite childhood memory?
Splashed in the rain and that in muddy,
Okay.
and hitting my sister. I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. That was funny. Okay, now you have to pick one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn?
Linden.
Okay. YouTube or TV?
You no YouTube.
Okay. Homemade food or outside food?
Homemade food all the way.
Okay. So, okay. So, you are a homemade food person. You don't like
Yeah,
outside like
yeah.
pizza and
My
burger.
no, I like those, but like my grandmother cooks for me, and she's like the best chef I've ever known. So I wouldn't trade her food for anything in this world.
Okay, means अगर means घर में cook हो तो भाई इसकी कोई
हाँ
absolutely कोई
वही
जरूरत
सही
नहीं
है.
है. Okay, so thank you so much, Risha, for joining me today. Would you like to say something about the show?
I loved it, honestly. It was like an amazing experience. I had a lot of fun, and the best part of it was so sweet because sometimes interviews can like drag on for half an hour, 45 minutes, and an hour, so that's really boring. But the best part is that it is sweet, it was fun, and I had a lot of fun. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, Risha. That's so kind of you to say that. It was really me to me. So thank you so much, Risha. It was fun hosting you today. Hope to host you again sometime soon. Thank you and bye bye for now.
Bye, thank you so much.
So, our viewer here, if you want to join me for this show as a speaker, please drop me an DM on LinkedIn and we'll get in touch with you for the same. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you and good night.